All right. I'm going to whip up a batch of Saxon fuel. I'm going to try to show you how to do it safely and the right way. So I pretty much got everything to go, ready to go. I'm going to whip up 100 grams of Saxon fuel. And let's get the show on the road. I normally don't wear gloves. I don't mind getting charcoal or potassium nitrate on my hands. Well, sometimes if you get potassium nitrate on your hands and you have cuts, it burns really bad. But I'm wearing gloves because I'm working with metals, and I don't mind getting organics in my hands, but I don't want to get metals. It's really like dirty. If you guys ever decide to work with it, you'll see what I mean. Hey guys, I'm whipping up some Saxon fuel. I'll get started now. What I got going on here, and you feel free to ask me any questions anytime. I got the charcoal pre-measured in weight and the aluminum pre-measured in weight, but I'm just going to show you how I weigh the black powder just so anybody has any questions on how this works. I'm making Saxon fuel today. Saxon. And Saxon is a fuel that burns almost like a rocket, but a little slower. So once I combine the chemicals, I'm going to push them through the screen a few times. But the recipe calls for 70 grams. Yo. Hi, Bernice. I'm going to start mixing my chemicals now, Bernice. I'll check on my on the comments from time to time, and I'll answer any questions I can. I'm usually pretty good at answering questions, but I want to face the camera forward so everybody doesn't see everything backwards, and I'll have to go over here and check the phone from time to time, Bernice. So hi, I seen you say hi. I'm making a fuel for fireworks today, Bernice. And it's a pretty fast burning fuel. You could use it in rockets, but it's a little bit more for display than not rocket fuel per se. So I got to weigh out 70 grams of straight up black powder. 6, 7. Make sure I got that right. Okay. 70 grams of straight up black powder. I'm making a 100-gram batch because it's still considered a small batch. I'm not trying to make any huge batches of anything. It's good fuel. I'll always use it. I'll always load it into some sort of device. I'll always find a use for it. So I'm making 70 grams of it. And what it calls for, I'm making 100 grams of it. And what I'm doing is adding the first ingredient, which is black powder. Okay. So there's the 70 grams. So that's the only one I'm going to weigh in front of you guys, just because I'm trying to demonstrate how weighing works, but I'm also trying to cut the time down. so you guys don't have to sit there and watch me all day. Lando Nick's cool says hi. Landoni's cool says hi. I'm making Saxon fuel. I'm making firework fuel, my man. So that's the dealio. So that's the black powder. This is the charcoal. Charcoal always slows mixtures down. And this is the aluminum. This is what actually is going to call for this spark. This is what's going to create the spark. So I can sort of put this stuff away for now. I'll show you what I mean. We're making a Saxon composition. We're making a 100-gram batch. So I put 70 grams meal powder, 25 grams aluminum, 5% charcoal. And now I'm going to just shake it up in this tub a little bit, and then I'm going to push it through a screen 4 times. So I can put all this stuff away now. And I'll switch this over to where I'm going to push it through the screen. That's the screen I'm going to push it through. By pushing it through this 40 mesh screen, that's what the recipe calls for. See that number 40? That's how many holes there are in this screen per square inch. That's what that 40 stands for. Firework people, they need screens. You can't live without them. You could use window screens and stuff, and a window screen is around 40 mesh. But if you're really going to seriously get into it, you should buy a set of screens ranging from like 4 mesh to 100 mesh. And again, the number is how many holes per inch. In other words, 4 mesh would have 4 holes per square inch. 100 mesh would have 100 holes per square inch. We're using the 40 mesh today, and the recipe calls for pushing it through for at least 4 times. Checking for messages. Nothing yet. Only one person watching. So I'm using the front camera for the phone, so I have to go around to the back of the phone to see if you guys are talking to me. But I'll do that. I'll keep checking to see if anybody has any questions. Because I like answering questions. So here's the deal. It's got to go through this screen 4 times. And this video is really just to teach people how to mix chemicals properly. If I get a bunch of people watching, I build a black powder rocket prior to the live stream, and I'll shoot a rocket off real quick. If I get a few people watching, just to please the crowd. Here's the rocket I built right before the live session. I'll shoot that baby off if there's a few people to hop on. Or if any of you guys even ask me, I'll do it. But for now, this is just a tutorial on how to mix your fuel, and we're creating Saxon fuel. Normally I don't wear gloves, and I should all the time, but I don't want to get this aluminum metal in my pores. I don't mind getting charcoal or meal powder or any kind of organics, but when it comes to metals, I'd rather not get them in my pores. You know, I would say something. Never mind. I try to mix comedy in with this, and sometimes that doesn't go over well, but this is more serious this time around. think just to slow it down a little more, I'm going to add a little more charcoal because I'd rather be a little slow than too fast. Because too fast, that's when things blow up if they're too fast. Just a little more. That doesn't even weigh anything. There. That shouldn't even make a difference, but I don't know why, but I'm adding a little charcoal to slow it down. Just to speed things up, I got rid of that junk. Any questions yet? No questions. At least I got 2 people watching. I'm checking behind the phone to see if anybody's asking questions, because I'll be glad to answer. So I ran it through the screen once. Just got to run it through 2 more times. And I'll pack a couple tubes and we'll test it out. Why not? That's why I'm here making it. Going to use it up. That's the plan. Man, they're calling for a heat wave the next few days where I live in the northeast part of the United States. We haven't had 90-degree weather around here since last year. It's supposed to be in the upper 90s the next few days. So, I like the hot, I like the cold. Either way, I like it. I don't have an air conditioner for my room, though, but I'll be all right. I do not care. Let me check anybody says anything yet. Nope, nobody's saying anything. A couple people watching. I'll answer questions if you guys want. I don't mind answering questions. No such thing as a stupid question, man. No such thing as a stupid question. I'm making fuel, flammable fuel for firework devices. The name of this fuel is called Saxon fuel, and it's supposed to go into a Saxon firework device. A Saxon is a spinning device. There's several different types of Saxons. Some have single tubes, some have multiple tubes. But mainly it's just a spinning device. That's what we talk about when we talk about Saxons. Some people just shake the screen to get it through, but I like pushing it through. So this is the second time I pushed it through. 2 more times and the fuel will be done. I'll pack a couple tubes and I'll build a real quick device and we'll test it out. I know it's going to be beautiful. I've done this quite a few times in me life. Quite a few times. Any questions yet? No questions yet. And we're down to 1 person watching. I got a feeling I'm going to delete this one. But listen, I'm just here to make videos and teach people how to make their pyro techniques, your fireworks. And if I think the video turned out good and I was clear, I'll keep it. A little messy I am. Try not to be so messy. That's why some people just shake it. I'm impatient and I'm lazy. So all these things are not good. Not that they're not good, but you should be a little more careful. I like doing that. That sort of makes all the powder gravitate toward the middle. It also gets it through the screen a little bit. All right, one more time and we can start building the devices. Craft paper is so good for fireworking. It's a must. You need craft paper. Otherwise, just these tasks would be so difficult without the right stuff. Craft paper is very important. All right, this is the last time I'm going to run her through. And then I'll put it in the tub. And I'll make sure the tub's marked. It's Messy Richard again. I got that. Alright, that'll be the last time. Set this aside somewhere. I want to wash that screen off before I use it the next time. Alright, let's put her in a tub. I'm looking for a tub right now. Right here. There we go. I labeled it. Let me check to see if anybody's asking any questions. No questions, only one person watching. I labeled the tub Saxon, so when I come back to it someday, I'll know what's in there. And I've made that mistake before. We're not labeling tubs, and you forget, a week later or a month later, what the heck's that? So you should always label your stuff. So when I come back the next time, I'll remember, because I'm very forgetful. I am. Very, very forgetful, unfortunately. Okay, so there's our Saxon fuel. I'll clean all this up a lot better a little bit later, but I'm just going to move on. I'm going to start pressing tubes of fuel. So I don't need these gloves anymore. I'll set them aside. Any questions yet? No questions, only one person watching. It's going to be one of those videos. That's all right. So, all right, let's start packing some tubes. I tried to schedule this, but I got the timing all wrong. These are tubes that I rolled out of craft paper. Comes on a roll. Looks like this kind of, but it's has gum, water activated on one side. So I usually just lick it. Or if I roll a whole tube, I'll dip the whole tube in the water for like 5 minutes. And then I'll let them dry overnight. And that's how I make my tubes. I just roll up paper around this aluminum rod to get the perfect size. As you can see, that's a little tight, but tight is good. That's tight. That's probably perfect. So this will be the first tube I pack. Any questions yet? No questions. One person watching. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is block one end of the tube, like so, with some tape. Okay. I'm going to brush this off a little bit. I don't want anything bumpy on there. I want a flat surface. That's why I'm doing that. Set that down. And we'll, first we got to add this kitty litter stuff. Looks like kitty litter. We add that. I'm going to ram 1 increment of this kitty litter stuff to create a solid chunk in there. And then later I'm going to come back and drill out a little hole, and that will work as a nozzle. When I light the rocket, the thrust will shoot out of that little hole of the solid chunk I created, and I'm creating a nozzle. So here's the clay, kitty litter clay. I taped up the one end of the tube. And now I'm going to use this is called a drift, aluminum rod. I'm going to hit it with a wood mallet. And I'm going to create my nozzle. Perfect. So now I'm going to start adding the fuel that I just made. As soon as I find it. There we go, right? I'll set it right here. Okay. Very good, Richard. You're a space cadet. You are a space cadet, Richard. I'm going to lay out a bunch of increments. Get my hands less dirty. Speed the process up a little bit. That's what I'm doing with these pieces of paper. I'm going to dump a little fuel on each piece of paper. You guys will see. There's a method to my madness. Always a method to my madness. Okay. I'm going to start adding my fuel. Try to remember I stuck it up there in case I have to come back to it. I'm going to fold these papers a little better because when I whack the table, they bounce all over the place, and I'm going to try to avoid spilling it like I did the last time. So I'm just making sure all these pieces of paper are folded real good before I continue on. That should be enough, I think, to fill up this little tube. La-dee-da. Anybody asking any questions yet? None. And I'm still down to one person. Thank you for that like, whoever you are. Thank you. My one fan. Okay. Gonna start adding fuel. A lot of people use funnels. This is so small, I can't use a funnel. Usually about 10 or 12 or 14 medium wax. I don't even count, to tell you the truth. I just got a feel for it. I don't even count them. I just tell by the way the drift goes down into the tube a little better, and the sound of it, the pitch goes up a little bit. Once you guys start creating your own devices, you'll get the feel for it too. It's really obvious, I think. I'll continue doing this till the fuel comes all about 70% up the way to the tube. And then I'll ram another increment of clay to create what they call a bulkhead. And you have to make a bulkhead. Any questions yet? No questions yet. And there's still one person. Thanks for hanging in there. In my community today was bulk day. Everybody had to get rid of their bulk trash. I don't have any. Got rid of it all last year. And we only get a couple times a year where we get rid of our trash bulk anyway. I went down to the Lehigh River today, and there was a bunch of kayakers out. Not as many as I expected, but it was thundering and lightning when I was down there. So I guess I don't blame them. Nobody wants to be on a river during a dangerous lightning thunderstorm. Let me check to see if there's any questions. No questions yet, and it's still one person. Maybe I'll pick up more of a crowd once I light that black powder rocket off. I just remember what I did wrong. Okay, that makes sense. All right. Now I know for the next time. Talking about schedule on the live stream. I forgot to pick AM or PM. So I picked the time. It's supposed to be 4 o'clock, but that was probably 4 a.m. Oh well. Live and learn, as they say, right? put a couple more increments in there. I'm going to set up a bunch of them because I'll be ramming several tubes today. And when I finally build the device, you guys will see why. I'll have several tubes going off, and it'll be a really cool device. And it's going to be a few minutes from now. So again, I'm just showing how to mix the fuel and how to actually build a device. A lot of times when I do live streams, I'll dedicate most of the live stream to actually lighting devices. But today is just more of a tutorial. And this has been taught a million times over a million years, so I'm not the first one. I'm just the latest one. Maybe I do it with a little twist, with a little humor. All the firework guys I watch making fireworks, they're all serious. I guess you gotta be, you know, you don't want to teach somebody to blow their fingers off. But gotta have a little humor in life, gosh. You know? Walk around stone-faced, man. What the hell's good's that? One more increment and I'll put the clay plug in there. Okay, so I'm done ramming the fuel. It's about up to there. I'll put a little piece of clay plug, I'll ram some clay. So I'll have a hard chunk of clay here, and I'll have a hard chunk of clay here, the fuel in the middle, and I'll drill out the bottom to create a nozzle. Any questions yet? Oh, at least I got 3 people watching now. I'll answer questions, you guys. Matter of fact, I love questions. There's the kitty litter for the, I'm going to ram that bulkhead. Then I'm going to ram one more driver. I'm going to actually put the device all together. And we're going to light her off, man. That'll be a few minutes, though. But I promise you, and I keep my promises, by the end of this video, we'll be lighting something off. I have a rocket already made. If I get a few more people on, I'll light the rocket off for you guys right away. Make sure the plug is good. You always want to plug them up good. Sometimes pyrotechnicians will say, if the tube bulges out a little bit where the clay plugs, then you know you did a good job. That means that clay plug definitely will not blow out if you pack it in there so tight that the tube bulges a little. And I could see little bulges, but you guys probably can't. So I know these clay plugs are in here good. So I'm going to drill out at least one nozzle now, but you'll see. So I'm going to show you how I drill out the nozzles. Any questions? No questions yet, and there's only one person watching. Back to one person. So, all right. I'm going to drill out the nozzle. Put my glasses on. That's a big clay nozzle. Oh, that's good. It won't blow out. All right, I'm into the fuel. I seen it. So I'll set this motor aside. And I'm going to ram another motor because I want 2 motors on my next device that I'm building. I want 2 motors. Hey, buddy, how many people are watching? Only 1. If I get a couple more people, person, I'll light off that black powder rocket. I'll light it off anyway, but I'm saving it for a few people. I made this rocket right before I went live. And I'm going to light it off. Let me finish making my device, person. Thank you, person. 1 person watching Richard today. One of my live streams, I had quite a few thousand. I knocked my socks off. I couldn't believe it. Must have been, I don't know what that was. I think the algorithm accidentally introduced me to 10,000 people. But I'll take it. I will take it. Who doesn't like recognition? Everybody likes a little recognition. Felt good live streaming to all them people. Even though YouTube probably messed up the algorithm and presented my material to all them people. Or maybe they really were interested. Who knows? I kind of doubt it, though. Alright, I'm going to find another tube. And I'm going to make 1 more driver over here. As a matter of fact, since we got all damn day, I'm going to make a couple more increments laid out. That's what Richard's going to do. Lay out a couple more increments. That's a big one. Okay. Questions? No questions. 1 person still watching. Pick out a tube. It's a little tight, but tight is good. Get a piece of tape. Plug off the bottom. Get the kitty litter. This is going to be my next clay plug. Maybe this is important to mention. I don't know how to put this in words. You want your clay plug a little bigger than the average increment. That's the best way I can say that. Oh, I remember the rule of thumb. You want your increment the same as the diameter of the tube. So if this is, say, a 1/4 inch tube, then I want a 1/4 inch clay plug. Let me say it again. You want your clay plug, your nozzle, any clay plug, to be the same height in the tube as the diameter of the tube. So if this is a 1/4 inch tube, I want a 1/4 inch of consolidated clay. So I want a 1/4 inch of consolidated clay because it's the diameter of the tube. All that babble for nothing. Ooh, I knew I wasn't getting that one out by hand. It's all right, though. It means it's in there good. Okay, we're going to start adding fuel again. Oh, there's 4 people watching. Hi, guys. Any questions, I'll answer. I'm making a device called a Saxon. I'm adding fuel to these little tubes, and I'm ramming them to consolidate the fuel. Black powder is one of the only fuels you can ram. Like whistle fuel, you cannot ram that. That has to be pressed. Whistle fuel is very shock sensitive. Under no circumstances can you ram whistle fuel. But black powder fuel is always safe to ram. It'll never, ever, ever, ever set off. Black powder. Black powder, and that's what's so convenient about it, because you don't need to buy a press and invest a lot of money. You could just get a hammer and your tools and you're good to go. But black powder is the only fuel that you can ram. Never try to ram whistle fuel or colored fuels. Black powder is the only fuel you can ram. Any questions yet? No questions, and I'm down to 2 people. I'm just going to repeat myself in case somebody's news watching. You can't put all your fuel in at once. It has to be done in increments, or your device won't work. It'll probably explode. The fuel's got to be consolidated into one solid chunk. There can't be any cracks in it or loose powder. It's got to be one solid chunk. That's why we ram it in increments. Usually a good rule of thumb is anywhere from 10 to 15 whacks with a wooden mallet. Some pyros say you should only use a wooden mallet, but that's just, if you don't want to damage your tools, use a wooden mallet. I used to use a regular hammer, but I would damage my tools. Nothing to do with safety. There's a waste of fuel. Man, I'm really wasting it over here. I might go back to my just scooping it out of the tub the next time around. I don't know why I'm doing that. I just trying to scoop up some of my spilled fuel. Don't cry over spilled milk. Don't cry over Saxon fuel. Here's that lousy sense of humor I have. Anybody comments yet? Any questions? No questions. And still one person. I'm almost done. And this is then I'll start actually putting the device together. That'll be the last one. Last increment, then I'll put a clay plug in there. I'll start putting the actual device together. And we'll light her off. Why not? Should be beautiful. Okay, I'm going to ram that nozzle. This is kitty litter again. That's how I make the nozzle. Repeating myself. Don't know why. Nobody's watching. I'm going to put a little bit more clay in there. Okay, I would just like to clean up a little. I'm just going to brush this off. I don't know why, but I'm just going to. Take 2 seconds. Less stuff to flash up on me. But I'm not having an accident. Hopefully not, anyway. Alright. So I'm going to drill this out. And I'm going to put a pass fire hole in this one. I'll explain as I'm going on. See the white clay? As soon as I start seeing black, I know I hit the fuel. See how it's like gray? So I know I'm into the fuel. I'm going to start putting stuff away so I don't get all mixed up over here. That's good enough. All right, here is my 2 drivers that I'm going to use. And what I need to do now, you guys, is I need to get the actual... Oh boy, I'm not prepared. I know what I'll do. I'm going to get the thing that I'm going to attach these drivers to. And that's this thing. Yeah, right. I have to get the tool. Thought I was going to hand twist that out with my hands. I need an Allen key. Great, Richard. You are not prepared. Thought I put the Allen key in here. Gosh darn it. Guess I didn't. Maybe I put it up here. This could be a problem. Sorry, you guys. I would say go get a donut or something and tune back in, because I gotta find this Allen key or I'm out of luck. So, I'm gonna look around a little bit here. What could I use in lieu of an Allen key since I messed this up? Looks like I'm going with plan B, and I'm going to mount these drivers onto a wheel instead. Oh, I already have a wheel in there. And there's my screwdriver. Oh boy. And there's my Allen key. Never mind. Back to plan A. Back to plan A. Okay. Good. I found tools and everything. See how messed up I am? I'm such a space cadet. Richard's a space cadet. Maybe Richard shouldn't be making fireworks if he's a space cadet. All right, let's get you all set up over here. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. Is that the right end? Okay, so far so good. I'm going to mount those drivers that I just made, these guys, onto this here. And I'm going to hot glue them on. That's how I'm going to mount them. So that's trash. Start up the glue gun. There we go. Okay. While we're waiting for that glue gun to heat up, okay, so far I drilled nozzles, you guys. So far I drilled nozzles into the motors. That's a nozzle, there's a nozzle. On one of these motors, I'm going to put a pass fire hole. I'm going to drill a hole into the back of the motor. And I'm going to put a pass fire hole. What's going to happen is when the fuel burns all the way through, I'll have a fuse in that pass fire hole. And the fuse will burn into the front of this driver. So this way we can light two drivers with one match or lighter. So the fuel burns, passes fire to that. So I'm drilling a pass fire hole in here. That's what I'm doing. I'm hand twisting it. That's the safest way to do it. I also want the smaller bit for the pass fire hole. The fuse will stick in that better. Ah, the hell of it. I'm looking at the tip of the bit and I'm looking for black powder. And when I see the black powder on the tip of the drill bit, I'll know I'm into the fuel. Okay, I'm into the fuel. Okay, so hoping the glue gun's starting to heat up by now. I'll put this here so you guys can see what I'm doing. Put my Allen key away so I know where it is the next time I look for it. Put the screwdrivers away. Well, I'm going to need one of the screwdrivers. Actually, no, I'm not. Hang tight, you guys. As soon as that glue gun's hot, I'm going to put one driver like here and the other driver opposite. So the thrust shoots out that way. The thrust shoots out that way. The device spins one direction. You could have the device spin in opposite directions, and I might try that one of these times. But for now, I'm going to have it spin in one direction. So it looks like the glue gun's hot enough. I'm going to okay, it's making a liar out of me, as usual. Okay, there we go. Sometimes they clog up. Son of a bee. All right, Richard's going to get this. In the end, I always win. There we go. Force that S out. Let that glue cool off a little bit. I love glue guns, man. They make fireworking go so fast. I'll let that cool a lot more, but good enough for right now. So here it is. There's the nozzle. There's no pass fire hole in this one, but the nozzle's going to push thrust that way. So this device is going to spin this way. And that's the dealio. So thrust going that way, that means I'm going to put this nozzle facing so the device all spins in the same direction. If I were to put both nozzles on the same side, the device would switch directions. And I could do that, but I'm not going to. I want to spin the device in one direction. Maybe I'll accidentally put it on the wrong way. We'll see. Okay. So, that's the way I want to see it. Make sure they're pretty straight. I'm going to turn my glue gun off. Off, right? There we go. Now it's off. Going to let that hot glue solidify. And then we'll fuse her up and light her off. Any questions yet? No questions yet. But at least I got 3 people watching. So I'll just babble while this glue's cooling off. Nozzle, nozzle. Thrust, thrust. Spin, spin. Pass fire hole. Fuse comes out of the back of one motor into the front of the other. That's how we pass the fire. This is the type of fuse I'm going to use to pass the fire, and this is called quick match. It's instantaneous. Instantaneous. So I'm going to run quick match from here into there, like so. So I'll cut this baby right about here, and I'll cut it on an angle. As soon as I get my razor blade. I'll cut it on an angle to create more surface area. And you should always use a razor blade when cutting your fuses because you don't want to cause unnecessary sparks with like scissors. So I'm going to wedge one end of this fuse into the pass fire end. Okay, here's the nozzle and here's the pass fire hole. I'm going to wedge the fuse into the pass fire end. And I'm going to secure that with some tape. And also add just a tad of black powder into that little cavity there, that little gap in the motor. And this will guarantee ignition. There. A little bit of extra black powder in there. That'll guarantee ignition. Then I'll nose this baby off. I want to nose it off with less tape. Less is more. Less is more. I used to hear that a lot. There. Okay. And I'll put this end into, oops. Yeah, that's right. Coming out when this motor's done burning, passes fire to the front of the next motor. And I'll tape that off real good. I just don't like that. I'm going to drill this out a little bit more of a hand drill. I had problems yesterday with that second motor lighting. I'm not going to have the same problems today. No, I am not satisfied with that. I want to make this nozzle a little wider. I want to get this right for you guys. So I'm picking a larger, slightly larger drill bit. I'm going to hand twist this nozzle out a little larger. So that fuse really fits in there snuggy, snug, snug, snug. Try this. Yeah, I like that much better. Much better. So now I'm going to protect the fuse. I'll explain as I go. First, I'm going to nose this off. It didn't fire yesterday, and I don't want to make the same mistake, so I'm following every precaution I possibly can. So no matter how hard it blows that out, sorry. I'll be right back. I'm sorry to do this to you guys, but I'll be right back. Very sorry. It's a shame there's fucking people watching too. I'm totally sorry, you guys. I don't blame you if you all left. Oh, Joni Sarkos says hi. I'm making fireworks, Joni. Sorry I had a roll on your butts for a minute, but somebody had something totally unimportant to tell me. Completely nonsensical, nothing to do with anything. So I'm protecting the fuse right here, anybody who cares. The way I protect the fuse is I just wrap tape around it. And the reason why I protect the fuse is because we don't want any premature ignition. So this is why I protect the fuse. This way, if any stray sparks hit that fuse, it won't light. It won't light the fuse. If stray sparks hit that fuse, it won't light. Plain and simple. So we're getting down to the fun part, you guys. Man, we're going to light this off, man. This is getting to the fun part. Any questions? Joni, Lando, Bernice? No questions? You guys? Okay, I'm going to put a fuse into the front. Going to insert the visco fuse. This is the more of the timing fuse. It's not instant like the quick match. This is like 5 seconds per inch or 3 seconds per inch. So I insert the visco fuse in like so. Put a little tiny piece of tape on it. Secure it. Think about how this is going to go. Okay, yes. I just want the fuse sticking out so it's easy for me to light. So now I'm going to screw this into its corresponding part. And off we go, man. I mean, it's sunny as all heck, but you guys should still see it. Oh, I got to get my tool to tighten this in here. Yeah, let me get that. And I'll set the tripod up. I'll set the tripod up so you can watch what I'm doing. You guys, man. You guys, my fans, the only couple I have. I'm going to try not to disappoint you guys. I'm going to light this baby off any second. Going to light this baby off any second. Point this up. So you can see what I'm doing. Like this, man, the sun's so bright. Okay, yes, you can see. Now I can see clearly. All right. Gonna screw this onto this. Start it off my hand first. Okay, I'll leave my tool here. Hopefully I'll remember it this time. Yo, yo, yo. As a bonus, since there's several more people watching right now, I'll light a rocket right now for you guys. And then I'll light that. As long as I have my lighter. Yes, I have my lighter. Here, check this, you guys. I'm going to light a rocket I made just prior to this video. So, here we go, a rocket. A rocket for you guys. It's a shame only 2 people are watching. Well, I hope it's the people who stuck through the whole video. That's what I hope. That's what I hope. Don't worry, I'll be lighting that any second. First, I'm going to shoot the rocket, and then I'll light that. So, okay. So, whoever you guys hung in there, and the person who gave me the like, I hope it's you guys who are watching. You hung in there all that time. This is a black powder rocket I just made. Okay. It is windy today. Here we go. That went up at least 300 feet. If it was nighttime, you'd have seen it. Okay. So this guy knows what he's doing a little bit, right? I know what I'm doing a little bit. Can I get a hell yeah? An amen? Something? All right. This is just for me, I guess, because I only have 2 people watching, and I hope it's you guys that watch the whole thing. So all I care about is that it works for me. Hopefully, the thrust will shoot out this way. When fire hits that, it'll spin around in that direction. And when the motor's done burning, it'll pass fire to that motor, and it will continue to spin. And it's bright daylight, but it's supposed to be silver. But you guys won't see that because it's bright daylight. So let's see if we got it going, you guys. Let's see if I did it right. Can you see the silver? And it didn't pass the fire. It did not, or did it? Yeah, they both fired, I think. I'll know in a second. Yeah, it looks like they both fired. Okay, very good. So that worked. Wish it was nighttime now. Maybe I'll do another live stream around nighttime, and I'll light off a bunch of stuff. I'll build one of them. These are all spent motors. So I'm gonna shove a fuse in there. Yeah, I got a feeling this didn't fire. That motor's not hot. I'm gonna shove a fuse in there. I got a feeling that second motor didn't fire. And if it didn't, I know what I did wrong. So I'm gonna put a fuse in there and see. I'll know for sure once I put that secondary fuse in there. I'm gonna cut a little piece of fuse. Yeah, that motor wasn't hot. I don't think that second motor fired. That should have been hot to the touch. So I'll stick a piece of fuse in there and try again. Yeah, I got a feeling that didn't fire. So here we go. I'll know in a second. No, it didn't fire. I'll get it right the next time. I love that. Still hear it. There's still a little bit of... Isn't that cool, man? I love fireworks. I'm such a pyro. All right. Well, I guess I'll end this stream for now. And I'm going to do another stream. What time is it? It is, I don't know. My watch is giving me a hard time. It's 4:16. I'm going to prepare a bunch of firework devices. I'll schedule a little bit ahead of time, and maybe this time I'll schedule it right. Maybe this time I'll pick the AM or PM since I forgot. I'm always fouling something up, you guys, man. I'm glad you watch me. Maybe I'll blow my fingers off someday. I'm such a burnout, and you guys will really get your money's worth. All right, so I'm hanging up. I'm going to build several devices, and we'll do some more fun stuff tonight, right as it gets dark. Promise, and I always keep my promises. Always keep them. So I'm hanging up. Do another live stream very shortly. Yo.